All right. So there were a couple of issues with the lab, and instead of trying to, I tried to fix them, and I made some minor changes to part three, so you can still get full credit and get the answer. Um, so for part one, I already uploaded a video. It's right here. You can click on it if you run into issues. Part two, uh, there's really no, I mean, I can't really show you the video. If you paid attention in class 2 weeks ago or 8 days ago, literally you read it from the bottom up. If you can copy paste into an app, do so. The app is going to be in your, it's in the PDF files, or the link is in the PDF files for the chapter we covered. So the one that most people are having issues with is part three here. So I ran it again. The first thing you want to do is you want to install it. Here's my installation code. I personally have, I do not have OneDrive enabled, but I need to have the bypass. You may have OneDrive enabled, so it'll be like OneDrive/desktop or whatever. So here's the IP address I care about. One thing is going to open. I'd already ran through the lab, so it closed, but it's like a Tony's tennis camp or something. Do not close that. You must leave it open while you're running the lab. The point of this lab is you see something that you think is suspicious. So now you're trying to figure out, is it or isn't it? All right, so once you install the lab, again, here it is. This is my output. We're going to go to PowerShell. I'm just going to start at the beginning. First, I want to know what are my active connections. When I run this netstat-ano, yours is going to be different. So there's all of these outputs. What you have to do is find this particular IP address, 107.180.0.174. I like to make life easy. I actually just go into book one here, or into Excel. I literally just copy pasted. I'll actually do it again just to show you. So I'm just going to copy paste all of this. You can also go through line by line. Up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm going to paste. I have in here the IP address. So what I did is I highlighted column A because I want to look for it. And then I used conditional formatting to highlight text that contains, and then I clicked D1 here. So what that particular Excel command does, and again, this is a completely optional step. You could totally go through line by line. Okay, 20, nope, I'm looking for 107, 20, 54, 34. None of these are 107. You could do it that way. It's okay. I prefer to work a little smarter. So I click that and say, all right, I want to look for any line that contains this. It's already in there. So then I just scroll through. Oh, look, it highlighted it for me. There it is. My PID is 3280. So in my Excel document here, I'm going to write, or my notepad, ignore this for now. I write 3280 because I need to know that. The next command is to look at what processes are running. And here's all the processes. Again, same thing. I'm just going to copy all of that. The other option is to go through line by line until you find 3280, or copy all of it. I did the exact same thing on this page right here. Again, here's I pasted, put this in here, my conditional formatting. This worksheet literally says that if you find 3280 in column A highlighted in red. So now I just have to scroll through for red. It found it right here. It did not find the right one because the 3280 is over here. I don't care about that. I want this column to be 3280. So here it is. 3280 is Edge, MS Edge. Again, my ID right here. It's near the middle. So I'm looking for MS Edge. If you were doing it manually, that's how you would find it. So 3280 MS Edge. All right, so now I've answered question 1 and question 2. Got it. Now, question 3 says, or sorry, question 4 says, to get this information, what I just did in netstat, ano, and get process, you can do it in one command. I could not get this command to work today, which is fine. So I made it 0 points, and we can move on with our lives because it's just getting you the same information we just got using 3 steps. Supposedly it's supposed to get it done in 1, but it took 3 steps. All right, so I didn't get it to run, so I moved on. Now that we have the PID, which is 3280, I'm going to run a different one, which is get the process information. So it's called MS Edge. It is not exited. It's still running. And then I'm going to run some more information to find out the parent of this process, and then maybe the parent of the process. So you would need to run this command right here for question 6 multiple times. Hint, the answer is 3, but I didn't tell you this. So the first time I'm running it on 3280. So here's my command. Here's my equals 3280. I press enter and I can see where the process is running from. There it is. I can see the parent is 6240. So now right here, now you can kind of see the other commands I have. Here's the 16 to 40, my second command. So I run this exact same one, except now I do 16 to 40. Again, here it is. I got the answer, and the parent ID is 11128. I run it a third time. I did not get a response. That's because the next line was this. That means I've reached the beginning. There is no parent to 11128. So it's not going to tell me who the parent is because there isn't one. This is where you can do like a verbose say no parent found or whatever, but we're not going to get that detailed. Okay. Now that I have my 3 PIDs, moving on to question 7 here. PID 1, 2, and 3, 3280, 1624, and 1128. I'm going to run, I made a mistake here. I kept it just so you guys can see. I mistyped it and it said, I have no idea what you're talking about. The cannot find a process, it's saying you just made up a number that doesn't exist. It's actually 16240. So here's the right command. It says get the process IDs 3280, 16240, and 11128. 11128, this is the parent's parent. It could not find it. It exited already. So it said, okay, can't find it. This is not, I'm not going to give you the answers, but here it is with the other two 3280 and 16240. We know they're working. We know they're taking up CPU power. We know it's MS Edge. You and I, we know that MS Edge is a legitimate application, but somebody could be using a virus and then they just rename the file MS Edge. So we can't just stop here because we know that MS Edge is legitimate. All right. Question 8 here says you can also get the same information from running the GetNet TCP connection. Again, I could not get it to work, so it's not the end of the world. We already have all the information we need. I ran it twice just in case I typoed something, and it kept just giving me the next line. It wasn't working. I must be missing something, so I'm moving on with my life because we already have all the information. If you can get it to run, great. If you can't get it to run, that's fine. Just show me that you ran it, you tried, and it didn't give you an error message. It just gave you the next line. And then we'll move on. Question 9 here wants you to kill the processes. We already know the 3 PIDs. I know that this one is not working. So I'm going to run my stop process only, or is no longer active. I can't close a process that's already been closed, or to use computer terminology, I can't kill a process that's already been killed. So I'm going to run my stop process. and I'm only going to focus on 3280 and 16240. And it went ahead and it said, all right, stopped it. And I stopped the other one. So now that I've killed these processes and they're no longer running, I need to figure out, is MS Edge a legitimate application or not? Is it a virus that's masquerading as a legitimate application? So if you go back up here to where I got the parent, my 11128, I have my path right here because that's what it needs, get the path. I'm just not going to get it from question 8. I'm going to get it from question 7. The path is right here. And in case you didn't get that far, actually, if you just Google, what is the path for MS Edge? It gave it to you. So here's the process and another way to figure out what this particular application is. Now, again, this assumes MS Edge is legitimate. If it was illegitimate, if it was a virus, it would not be in this location. But the parent would tell you the right path. So it's important that you get this to work. So what I also did is I went into program files, x86, Microsoft Edge application, just like there. And I got that. So when I ran the command, get me the hash value of this particular application, you can type it in, you can copy paste. Another trick is, since this is what I'm looking at, I can just copy his path. And actually, when you copy his path, there it is, it copied it for you. That way you don't have to worry about misspelling or anything. So here's the command I'm running. I paste that in here, and it gave me a hash value. So the last step that you want to do is, now that you have the hash value, is this a legitimate application, or is it a malware that's masquerading as a legitimate application? The way to do that is, now that we have the, now that I have my hash value, I'll just copy it again. I'll just exit this. We use virus total, which again, I gave you the link for. So here's virus total. Just go to that GUI search. What you have to do, it'll default to file. Just click on search, paste that, the hash value, because remember, hash values are unique. Press enter, and it's going to give you if this is a malicious file or not. The next part of the assignment asks you to essentially tell me, is it or isn't it? Now, I'm showing you it is not. So tell me in your own words, why is it not? What is it that you see? But yeah, anyway, so that IP address was not working for some reason. There's really not much we can do about it. It was already a redundant command. You should run the lab without having that working for you. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be online later today.